So I spent the majority of my career at the BBC, firstly working in radio and then working in TV. And I think that what we're all seeing, and I know it's been discussed today, is a classic industry curve with MOOCs that represents a marketplace in flux. And I think the overused term of the day is probably that MOOCs are entering a trough of disillusionment along their hype curve. Now, as I say, I'm pretty new to higher education. My own experience comes from leading online teams in BBC Radio and BBC TV. And as now, the debate there centered around those who said radio or TV were dead media, and that the schedules, the channels, the programs we were all used to were going to dissipate as soon as on-demand arrived, as soon as the iPod became widely available, who would need radio? As soon as one could choose what programs to watch, who would need BBC One anymore? On the other side of the spectrum, there were those who rightly thought this was utter nonsense, but retreated and retrenched to the other end of this spectrum and dismissed the whole arrival of digital as just a fad and one that could be ignored. So in those industries, as in higher education now, there's a polarization of the debate. There's some fear, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of doubt. There are evangelists and there are doom mongers. So last night I was at a Radio 4 recording of a debate about education and technology, where I kid you not, the debate seesawed from someone who was arguing that we should be giving kids augmented reality headsets and asking them to reenact the Battle of Hastings, to those who were worried that their kids weren't going to be able to actually write with a pen and paper their own name because they were doing too much typing. When it came to MOOCs, the arguments were all about how this was going to destroy universities, make teachers redundant, and dumb down teaching. And I guess that a lot of that debate has happened today. Now, of course, what's needed and what I hope comes next is a sort of normalization of the perceptions as evangelists realize that this isn't the answer to everything, including world poverty, which we have all heard it quoted as the answer to. But the doom mongers accept that the sky isn't falling in on them, or at least not caused by MOOCs. I think as an industry, we need to take a more balanced view on MOOCs and their role in the broader education market. If we're going to take advantage of the wonderful potential I genuinely believe they offer. But MOOCs are only one part of a wider digital disruption that's hitting higher education. And it's the arrival of the web, not just the MOOCs, that's an unparalleled opportunity to transform the effectiveness of learning and open it up to millions more people. So I don't believe that MOOCs are a replacement for universities and university courses. At FutureLearn, our MOOCs are degree level. They're extremely demanding. We don't view them as a like-for-like comparison with a full degree. How can we? 6, 8, 10-week courses, 2-week courses in some cases. Not intended to replace a university education, but I am convinced they might encourage more people to embark on one, at undergraduate or at master's level. And in addition, MOOCs aren't an alternative to great educational content, they're just a channel through which to disseminate it. Content is king, and in the world of the MOOC, the universities are the key content creators. And their lead educators are the ones we need to empower to take advantage of the incredible tools and technologies now at their disposal to deliver teaching in new ways to new audiences. And part of our job at FutureLearn is to provide those tools, to provide that training, but also to find ways to help our partners make it affordable and to meet their objectives to deliver teaching in this way. And another sort of part of this big debate, and Daphne was talking about it just now, although I do think that a lot of the early MOOC pioneers are being hoisted by their own petards on this one. MOOCs don't just have to be for the educationally disadvantaged. We think it's okay if you have a degree and you do one of our courses. I mean, actually, they come from universities. As I say, they're extremely demanding. And they're not necessarily designed to attract anyone in the world. Yes, we all want to take learning to a wider audience, economically as well as geographically and demographically. Yes, MOOCs are going to be an important part of this. But if someone with a degree wants to learn more, why is that somehow less significant? Especially if you're not trying to replace or disrupt or destroy the university system, but work with it. If someone retired with a master's degree, who otherwise would have no opportunity to learn in this way, is doing one of our courses, actually we celebrate that. We think that's fantastic. We think that's opening up a completely new world for universities to take their expertise to. 2/3 of our learners on our first sort of 10 courses have never done an online course before. That is widening access. That's opening up new audiences. That's bringing people to a medium they've never used before for this kind of thing. And I think that's fantastic. And we are blown away by the diversity of the demographic and geographic backgrounds that being open on the web with this kind of content is attracting. People who otherwise would never have dreamt of doing a course in this way. And then coming to the point of metrics, we shouldn't just measure MOOCs by the established metrics. I think a lot of people in this room acknowledge this. I hope they do. They're a different learning experience. They have radically different financial models to university models. I mean, they're free. And very different modes of participation. I thought Daphne made some good points on this. So let's not compare them to established university courses if you're trying to measure their successes. In terms of retention rates and completion rates, I've got to say, I'm not releasing those figures today, but we're going to release our first figures soon. We're hugely encouraged by what we're seeing. And going back to my days at the BBC, I can tell you the kind of digital products and services that we launched there, from the iPlayer to podcasting, radio on demand, websites to support TV programs, radio stations, etc. If we were getting the kind of conversion rates we're getting, if we were getting the kind of dwell times, duration times, people coming back that we're getting with MOOCs, we'd have been blown away by it. And it's not just in the online area. I can tell you a lot of documentary makers putting a program on BBC Two or a series of programs would kill for the kind of numbers we could give them in terms of people consuming whole bits of content and then coming back week after week to do more. We're onto something here. And at FutureLearn, we've made sure that we and our partners have built our courses in ways that if people do only spend 1 hour or 1 week or 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 10 weeks, they learn something and they enjoy learning something. And we get emails of people apologizing that they have to drop out of the course. Really sorry, just life's caught up with me, I can't carry on. And they really want to tell us, you know, it's not that it's not good, just life's caught up with me. And we actually want to celebrate and reward that kind of progress, not condemn it as failure or condemn ourselves for dropouts. So MOOCs do mean change, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Doommongers are going to claim that MOOCs are going to destroy the established higher education value chain. Evangelists will claim they're going to change the world. Neither of them's true. But there will be change, and the vast majority, I believe, is very positive. At FutureLearn, we see MOOCs as a starting point for our entry into online learning, not an end in themselves. And we're trying to establish ourselves as strong in 2 key areas. We want to be brilliant at partnerships, helping universities to innovate and experiment, and giving educators wonderfully simple production tools to make great courses, collaborate and learn together what makes a great course, and use data to analyze and understand in great detail the motivations and behaviors of different groups of learners. And we want to bridge that higher education sector with other cultural, content, and commercial partnerships, which will help fund, augment, and develop new progressions onward from the courses we release. Into qualifications, yes, into further study, into jobs, or just into development of further passions. And we want to unleash the Open University, the 45-year-old veteran of distance and then online learning, in new ways on new audiences, and as an enabler and supporter of the broader higher education sector through its investment and its expertise. The second thing we want to be brilliant at is product development. Learning from the best of what's gone before, certainly, but bringing a new, modern, social web take on it. Simple, intuitive, uncluttered user experience. Bringing the principles of social media, with which the audience is increasingly familiar, to enable a conversation and collaboration in learning. And as I say, celebrating and rewarding progress, not mourning failure and dropouts. So we're going to be releasing our first data soon, and we're going to draw upon the results of our first courses. We're delighted with the start we've made, even though we know we're in beta. And this is an early stage product. We've got loads more we're going to be delivering as FutureLearn. But we're incredibly proud of the foundations we've already put out there, and we're blown away by the quality of the courses that our first partners have put on there. Just a few stats, though, on what we're getting out of those first courses. 88% rated our first 8 courses as either good or excellent. Around 50% excellent of people who completed. 71% wanted another course to do either immediately or in a few weeks. 92% said the course met or exceeded their expectations. And 94% would recommend FutureLearn to a friend. Going back to my days at the BBC, I am telling you, I would love to have had figures like that for a beta product. But what really makes us excited and convinces us we're on the right track is the reaction of learners day in and day out to the courses they're enjoying. So do me a favor, go and sign up for one if you haven't already. And I challenge you, go in there and look at the comments in there. And feel the passion, the excitement, the gratitude, the disbelief that this stuff is being made available, that these opportunities are now there. Look at the erudition of the comments. And tell me we're not onto something. Now, I did have a whole list of user quotes, but I'm slightly in awe of the ones that Daphne used earlier. So I'm nervous about raising a stake. So I'll keep fairly simple, and just say I'll just pick one out. I congratulate your designer on the high quality of your website. I think yours is the best MOOC I've ever been exposed to. Ah, well, I can't win everything. Thank you very much for your time.